Financial Fridays with Dre and Smiley. Smiley, man, with this Financial Friday, retirement comes to mind. Let me read this excerpt about what's going on in France right now and get your thoughts on it. So, French President Macron at the Elite's Palace in Paris on the 3rd of January of this year, he approved an unpopular plan to raise the age of retirement by 2 years from the age of 62 to 64. A huge win for Macron in the face of mass protests across the country. So there's two layers to this. One question I have for you is what do you think about the retirement age there moving from 62 to 64? If you were living in France, how would you feel about that?
I would be just as disappointed as everyone else. Imagine you work all your days and you're thinking you're going to be retiring at 62 and they switch it out to 64. You paid into the system. You Now I could see, let's say the 18-year-olds today, now they get 64 because they're starting out, but someone who's been paying for 10, 20, 30 years, no,
Right.
I want 62. uh, why did you mismanage the money that now I got to work 2 extra years? No, I wouldn't be up. I protest as well because I don't
Right.
think that's fair. I mean, it should be optional, like it is. If you want to continue working to 64, do it. But I'm sure it's not fair, and that's why, like, when you look at the 401ks and IRAs, that's how you do your self retirement. You try to save up your money so you don't outlive your wealth, your money out. You want to. Hopefully, you can time it so the last check you write, then you move on. But we know we need more because we don't know when that last time is going to happen. But I don't think it's fair. What about you? You think it's fair to change the rules after you've been paying into it for 40 years?
You know what? So I'm going to answer your question, but you raised a really good point. I'm touching on that too. So, dude, imagine I can't even imagine if it was like a month before my 62nd birthday, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I got 30 days, then I get to retire, and all of a sudden, Macron's like, oh, whoa, 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 wait a minute now. We're switching this. You got 2 more years to give us. I think I'd have I don't know what I would do, man. I think I might have an aneurysm, just the idea of it. But you raised a really good point, which is, we can't rely on retirement from the typical source, which is, Social Security here in the U.S. I like the idea you touched on, which is, finding our own independent streams of retirement income, through IRAs, mutual funds, and the like, right? Um, as you think about that, your retirement plan without, being too detailed, what comes to mind for you as your fail safe and not having to rely on Social Security?
Wow, that's a good point, man. I know we talked about risks a couple Fridays ago, but I'm trying to get into real estate. I want to have a couple units. If my goal, if I could get 10 doors to supplement my doors, meaning rental income, 10 leases. That'll be 10 sources of income plus my 401k, or not 401k, IRA, individual retirement account. I'll use those too because I don't really spend much. I like to read, and most of the things I do is free. My lifestyle's simple, man. You give me a corner with some shade and maybe a glass of tea or a cool water. I'm cool. My expenses
You're
is nil. So my
Neil.
retirement, I'm gonna just be chilling. I don't even know if I'm gonna have a TV. So I'll just be watching the Bucks.
But that's key, right? That's key. It's not how much you make, but how little you spend, right?
Yeah.
And then how you leverage what you make so that, and we touched on this a couple of Fridays ago, like you said, you know, the idea is to generate wealth while you're sleeping, right? So the idea isn't, how can I get 5 jobs? But instead, how can I, you know, make it so that my money makes money? Um, and then again, spending as little of that as you can. Coming full circle, I guess something to think about is, kind of feel for those in France that are facing this. Hopefully, the government and the community there can come up with a happy medium, because obviously, people are close to retirement, or you know uh, are accustomed to that retirement age being set at 62. That's a big change. It's a big change. It's understandable why there's an uproar there. My hope is they can resolve that at the very least. For those listening, think of ways to make sure that you are financially set. Have a great weekend.